Hey,
Starts getting hot.
These cartoons are awful.
Cartoons are
They're
awful.
an absolute shocker.
It's a great little game. It's a bit lightweight. It's very, it's quite short, but you and a mate, steering wheel and a gun, can't go wrong. Best thing out there.
That's
Time Crisis,
such a
really.
tiny little niche audience, though, isn't it?
Well,
You need a steering wheel and a gun to get the most out of it. That's
but if you've got a gun and a control pad, it works equally well. One player, it's not the same game, but I had tremendous fun playing it. Couldn't put it down, but then I had a wheel and a gun, so.
You also had a wig on as well.
And I also had a wig on this.
And a cardigan.
It's all right. I'm surprised and pleased with how solid it turned out to be.
Yeah.
It looks okay.
It's basically you one of you's driving, one of you's shooting. You're just bombing around the city, taking out the crims. Yeah, looks like Grange Hill. Frying sausage on the front.
It's awful. Oh.
There's not a great deal of variety in the levels. It's basically chase down the crim in his car and shooting. Or shoot his car.
Shooting turbos along the way.
Yeah, there's loads of pickups you've got to shoot and stuff, and it does require both of you to be on the ball. But it's just a whole big barrel of 70s fun.
Yeah, it's alright. It knows, yeah. There's a certain people of a certain age have been targeted by this game, and they know who they are. It's doing really well in the charts at the minute, which is I'm really pleased about.
That's good. If you could just got 2 control pads, I wouldn't bother.
Yeah.
Unless you want to buy a gun, of course. But.
I mean, the thing is, a lot of people have got guns these days, and they're looking for a reason to. They want games that are going to use it, and
this will last a hell of a lot longer than your normal that game.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's 18 levels, something like that.
Get ready.
Yay.
Aye.
That's me.
Fantastic.
Young Nicholas.
iToy, absolutely brilliant. Whether
love it.
yeah, fantastic. Whether it's going to sort of keep you going for months and months, but
They got an update disc, haven't they, coming out before Christmas?
yeah,
so.
there's that's why iToy Play now. iToy, what is it going to be? I think there's got a Keep Fit. There's another Play disc coming up with more games, and there's a Keep Fit disc with exercisey type stuff on.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
And I'm sure other developers are going to pick up on it, so.
yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, fantastic use of new technology, and when people see it for the first time, they can scarcely believe what they're looking at.
Yeah.
Really.
This is my favourite, but.
It's simple, but
UFO
it's
juggler.
just genius, isn't it?
Go on.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember the name of the guy. The guy what done it off the top of my head, but he's the man's a genius, really.
Yeah. No, it's very clever.
Just showing what can be done.
And look at that.
I mean,
Both juggling.
yeah, just looking forward to people really using it in lots of different new and exciting ways. There's going to be communications stuff, proper sort of voicemail, sort of live video conferencing things. But for now, 12 stupid games that will keep you entertained for a week, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again,
break them out apart.
In multiplayer.
Yeah.
or Christmas. If you get this for Christmas, that's it. Christmas sorted. Was ist das? Das ist ein Bayonet. And he's about to get it in your ass.
Oh dear, they really don't like it up.
Yeah.
This is Wolfenstein. Yeah, great, fantastic conversion of PC game with lots of new PS2 things in it. Not as brilliant as it could have
It's got
been.
two kind of. It's got the kind of 2 extended early levels that look very much like Medal of Honor Underground for those of you who can remember that. But yeah, it's a solid shooter, and it's got that kind of classic id kind of concept of the hidden area, which is actually hidden and really hard to find, as well as some mental bosses and some great weapons.
Yeah. I don't know whether they had to pay for use of the Nazi license or not. in gold with eagles
Official
on
Nazi
or something.
license.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure who owns that these days.
Well, the good
But,
thing is about it is, like, it's one of those rare games where it just doesn't take itself too seriously and say, oh yes, we're trying to be historically accurate here, and it's just saying, oh, just cap the Nazis, enjoy.
Yeah, kill them all.
And stab them in the ass.
Yes. Oh dear. It looks good. I mean, looking at it now, it makes me want to get my copy back off Joel and play it. But it's just not as fantastic as we'd sort of hoped. And when it was out on the PC, it was kind of a really big player. Now that it's out on PS2, it's just kind of just showed its age a little bit, I think.
And no multiplayer.
No multiplayer, that's a real kicker. Yeah. But I mean, even as a single player experience, you got the whole thing there, really.
This looks great.
This looks rubbish. It plays great. It looks old, but it's just non-stop violence.
Oh, it's just
It's
harsh,
Max
isn't it?
Payne in a Namco style.
Yeah.
It's unabashed. Just
And you can play as a dog.
anything that moves.
Yeah.
And you play as a dog.
And you
which
play
is-
as a
which is
go-go
quite
dancer as well.
Yeah.
Pole
Wicked.
dancer.
I mean, this is old though, isn't it? It's been around for ages.
Yeah.
very
I mean, we're
It's only
talking
just
about
been published over here.
Die Hard Vendetta. If Die Hard Vendetta had done this, it might have been more of a
Had a dog in it.
Yeah. Well,
The dog. I mean,
There's some brilliant moves you can do.
Yeah,
Look at this.
quality finishing moves.
yeah. And the
some of
whole
that.
concept that once you run out of ammo in that kind of state of emergency style, you just chuck your gun away.
look at that.
Check this one out in a minute.
It's pretty brutal.
Quality.
Whoa.
Peek-a-boom.
Headbutt
Have some.
and backwards. Wallop.
Oh.
Ultra violence.
Yeah. Imagine if graphics like that and the moves like that. Imagine if like Vice City had something like all this stuff going on as well. It'd be brilliant. But unfortunately, whereas Vice City's got so much more going on, all this has got is the shooting and the killing. It's got a dog in it though. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Anyone would
Oh,
think it
generic
was
tennis game.
Wimbledon.
No tennis. No.
You can hear the cash registers at
Right, we
various.
say it every time, but
You can hear
why
the-
do they bother?
You can hear the cash registers and they're not opening or making any sound at all.
This is
No,
nowhere near
no.
as good as Virtua Tennis, so why do they bother?
Yeah, Virtua Tennis 2, go and buy that instead. In the meantime, we'll just take the mix. Take the piss. You just know that all of the faces of all the players here are the programmers and stuff and their relatives. You just the whole thing is very much developed in the UK and not good.
I find this just completely shambolic, to be honest.
No,
I seriously
no.
can't find anything good to say about it.
It's like developed as some little joke, some little college project by the guys that did it, and not really for anybody else to play or enjoy. No. Johnny, do you want to kick in a tennis game?
Well, yeah. I mean, Pong.
Pong stink, more like.
And this, Virtua Tennis, all the mini games and stuff like that, Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a big fan of tennis.
It's got a really annoying commentator as well.
Does it?
Yeah.
I mean, the court looks nice. They've done a nice grass effect there, and they've got the faded bits where
little faded bits.
Henman's been shuffling
Brilliant.
about for a bit. But
Great
no
stuff.
licensed players.
But I mean, there's next generation tennis, which we reviewed in the same issue, last issue, scored better than this. But we'll just say it again, Virtua Tennis 2. Go and buy that if you want tennis, because that's brilliant.
Ruby to serve.
No, more
And here it is. Next generation tennis.
Tennis me up.
Well,
Here we go.
better than the last one, but
Better than the last one. That's about the only good thing you can say about it.
Just better.
very little in it, really.
Oh, tennis.
Lots of
See,
it.
I like a tennis game when it's done well.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Virtua Tennis.
you got the multi-tap in and full players.
Smash Court, can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
But these, they're just two a penny and they're just...
If it's an effort getting the ball over the net and stuff, that seems to be the main thing with both the tennis games we reviewed. Is if you
Can you
play,
throw tantrums?
if you're playing it, it's just hard work.
Unfortunately not.
No.
I mean, the other thing is that, what's important for a single-player game with this is what the AI is like. And with Virtua Tennis, you've got a kind of a gradual incline. So you actually go up against harder and harder players who play better and better at you. Ultimately, pretty much everyone you go up against with this one's pretty thick. So,
You can pull off similar shots constantly to win points, which is just...
It's just the same little celebration every single point
yeah.
that she won one.
Yeah. One player animation in there.
Oh.
But it's that thing, I mean, you kind of hit it deep into the side, they run out, you run over, you hit it deep to the opposite side, you win the point. I mean, I just like something that kind of, you know, by the time you get to the semi-finals, when you've done a full championship, or you know, that you're actually kind of sweating by the end of it.
Yeah, you're better off digging out the old TV game from your grand's loft and playing Pong than trying
Indeed,
to do this.
Get out the old VCS.
Yeah, might as well.
Grandstand.
In the meantime,
New balls, please.
thank you.
Yeah, it's LucasArts in their red frock.
It is red, and it has got rocks in it.
Yes, it's very red, and there's a lot of rocks in it. All set on Mars.
Cycle Courier, come Bionic Man. And do you know what I love about this game most? Again,
that?
I'm a big fan of sci-fi, but go on. I don't think. Hopefully, we might show it. But his rocket pack, the outlet for his rocket pack is right where his arse is. So every time he jumps, he looks like he's doing a big gaseous fart.
He's being propelled off
Off the ground by his huge fart.
So, you know, in theory, this should be quite good. It's got some quite good ideas where you can insert your computer into various different vehicles and objects and
Commandeer robots,
commandeer robots and
nice,
things, but somehow it just
combat's
doesn't
arse,
manage to
story's
convey a
rubbish.
good atmosphere at all.
He looks like a cycle courier, and this is sci-fi done bad. I hate this game.
We're making it look quite good here. When I was watching people play, they were just leaping about outside in space, just trying to get up these tiny little inclines that you should be able
There's
to.
some
Oh,
really
no,
annoying
here we
platform
go.
hopping bits in it.
Lots of
Here we go.
crappy platform.
Yeah, there's a jetpack in a minute. Oh, no, not yet.
Yeah.
And these laser guns sound pathetic as well.
It looks a bit NASA as well. I mean, come on, you know, sci-fi is, you know, a kind of threshold of imagination, and you know,
It's very 1970s. So.
it is. It's all a bit Chuck Yeager, and I want, you know, Dan Dare.
You want that
Yeah.
in 50s so
Bring back retro.
I'm Dandy.
My name is Johnny, and this is Conflict Desert Storm 2.
Against the might of a tyrant. That wouldn't be a real tyrant, though, would it, John?
No.
Okay.
General Aziz. Well, it was last time, but it's someone different this time. So, yes, it's not Mr. Hussein.
Is this good then?
Yeah, it's very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. They are laser targeting. Look at that. That's brand new. And the AI of your men is still as sharp as ever. So you never get into a situation where you're kind of watching them be stupid and thinking, "Oh, please let this stop."
Yeah, see, I found coordinating quite fiddly in the last one.
Once you get the control, it's the real stumbling block with the game, as ever. Is, you know, you've got to do the tutorial. You've got to kind of play the first mission and die on it for a while before you get good at what you're doing.
It's a game in a world where I get upset if I've got to wait longer than a minute for anything, even like minute chips. I get upset.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I had to do a training mode. It took me an hour to get good at it.
A lot of the levels take an hour, which is more time than I can commit to anything.
Oh no, you got mid-level saves, and you know you got some lovely new features of covering fire and stuff like that now. So, I mean, basically on this level, if you can see, there's grenades and stuff going over my shoulder, which is being chucked by other people. This guy
good.
here is laying down smoke. You'll see it go off in a second. So you got beautiful coverage with smoke, and it actually works. You know, people can't see you, you can't see them. You can retreat under smoke. I don't know. It's got loads of really nice little touches in.
It's good. It just looked absolutely mint, I've got to say.
Yeah, no,
And the
it was-
airstrike, it's the airstrike facility.
yeah,
isn't it?
you call a helicopter in now, and it'll fly across and be able to go through.
Is it as good as Freedom?
Now you see, this is the kicker. This is it's kind of too early to say on the fact that we haven't reviewed Freedom as yet, or we'll be reviewing it this issue, won't we?
Yeah.
So, maybe it is.
Time and Mag deadlines are confusing.
Yeah. So I'd say put my money on
Freedom.
I'd say better. Freedom. Just.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Formula Fun, as I like to call it.
Yes, Formula Fun.
When I've been drinking.
Formula One juice.
Formula One.
How is this different or improved?
Well, it looks
from-
nicer.
Well, yeah, perhaps it does. I mean, that's the classic level. They say, look, here's that's Monaco, isn't it?
That last one.
Yeah, Monaco. They always go, look, the graphics are improved. Look at the boats in Monaco.
And look,
Here are 12 levels of grey track. There's Monaco.
And then
See the big wheel? I didn't even see the big wheel.
I didn't see the big wheel that time. But
Big wheel in. Yeah, of course.
they got all the helmet decals and everything correct. So, you know.
It's got everything there, hasn't it? Everything you need if you're into
The thing is, I
Formula
still hark back to the EA game when they started putting some more arcadey elements in, and I suddenly thought, I might get back into F1 again. You know,
Yeah.
bit of slipstreaming. You know, all you needed was a Bomani pit stop, and I'd be happy. But you know, it's still.
The weird thing is, F1's actually getting more exciting in real life, and by more I mean a bit
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, they've made it like they've updated everything apart from crazy religious nuts streaking across in the +4s or whatever they were doing the other day. Well,
Yeah.
I'm digressing. But yeah, I think this is the best game you can get right now, is it? Am I correct to say that?
Yeah.
And it's up to date, and if you love your F1, it's the game you'd go for.
Comes out on top, I think, this year over EA.
Yeah, no, it's a really polished product. It's just that, it is clearly an F1 game, and if you've never been swayed by an F1 game before,
You won't be.
you're unlikely to say, my god, this is the F1 game for me. Look at the boats in Monte Carlo. Monaco as well, that's really good.
Look at those helmets.
Yeah,
And,
that's a Ferris wheel. I'm in the seat.
And that's what I call a near wheel cam.
Yeah, let's strip and run down the track and celebrate. I'm having the time. Ah.
Oh.
Does he look familiar? Well, does he?
Well, yeah, but you only get to play him for a portion of the action. don't
Well,
you?
yeah, you do.
I wish
So-
this was great.
I enjoyed this. It was good, but not brilliant.
Yeah.
That's the thing. The stealth stuff I thought was really good. Had really good fun. It's really atmospheric.
It kind of puts Prisoner of War to shame, doesn't it?
Well, it does. Yeah, I mean, it tries to go a step further than Prisoner of War by sort of introducing action bits to it as well. You know, you're not just sneaking around in a Prisoner of War camp. You're actually riding around on motorbikes and getting in vehicles and jumping across train and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you can take the enemy on and have a good firefight, and it's using, you know, what is effectively the Conflict Desert Storm engine, so, you know, it does it all solidly enough.
But enough about the game. Let's hear about Joel's suggestions for the game it should have been.
Well, all I'm saying is that there's enough good things that happen in the camp in the original that you could have an entire game set in the camp and then just have you got this many people out at the end. There's the conducting of a male voice choir, dropping soil out of your trousers, nicking planks from people's beds so that the bloke with the moustache collapses through his bunk. There's no end of possibilities, and they're all great.
Surely that's more Prisoner of War than this, though. I mean, if you know, Prisoner of War was the ultimate kind of escape from a Prisoner of War camp, and you know, you spent half your time sitting in a
You said
drain,
it was the ultimate, but it only got 70-something, so it still clearly had a way to go.
sitting in a drain waiting for something to happen. So I'd rather play this, and you know,
The thing I found was that the action stuff just didn't work very well. That was the problem. It was all a bit clumsy, and the interface is terrible when you're in the middle of a firefight. You have to stop, select something in your inventory, then use it, and then go switch back to your weapon, and it's all just...
I think it's the old problem as well, that if you're doing something where you can fly planes and drive motorbikes, then inevitably you can't make a system that does all of that to the best of its ability.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, good. Bike, this is great. I just wish they'd made not The Great Escape, Escape to Victory. The final... well, anyway.
Brilliant.
What the hell is this?
no, not brilliant. This is atrocious. This is one of the
shocking.
Oh, this looks brilliant.
this is one of the worst games ever.
Watch her run, watch her run.
I mean, this cat is supposed to be Cameron Diaz. Look what they've done to her. Poor woman.
Oh, Cameron Diaz.
I know. Well, yeah.
Johnny, you had the pleasure of this one, didn't you?
Yeah, to a certain extent. I mean, you know, as much as you can call it a pleasure, I mean, I'd rather be doing
Diaz loves kicking boxes.
anything else other than playing this. You've got kick and you've got punch.
I don't remember that guy.
And then the worst thing, which we kind of can't really show on here, but I mean, maybe we do slightly, is
No,
that...
Joel, this is dreadful. Don't be fooled. Honestly.
Does that move?
See that invisible wall she was running against then?
yeah, you can't
Yeah.
run back into
Shut
the
up.
levels.
Look at her! Look at her pose!
She doesn't pose.
Oh, look! It's Lucy Liu! Johnny, don't tell me
It's
this
not Lucy
No,
Liu.
Joel, it's a game.
It's a
Can't you tell?
game. and it's a really badly rendered version of Lucy Liu in an
Fighting
ill-fitting
girls.
bikini.
You're all wrong.
It's awful.
It's one of the worst.
Lucy Liu as well, you'd think it'd have the best combat system, but she's actually the hardest to fight with because she's a bit rubbish.
Absolutely,
Drew Barrymore's
it's
the
rubbish. It's massively cynical. If you
Yeah.
bought this, I mean,
If you
well,
bought this, you've probably finished it in an afternoon and feeling outraged.
you've got every right to be angry.
Yeah, take it back.
Don't listen to them. I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, you come out with little tears in your eyes.
Oh, please tell us we show the speedboat escape.
Oh, that's it. You jump in the speedboat, but you don't
Not
actually
bad.
drive it.
No, you jump in the speedboat and that's it. And
Yes,
oh, look,
here it
that's
comes.
the
Here it comes. Jump, jump,
Jump! Jump!
Oh.
Don't use your phone. Jump!
Oh,
Rubbish. You want an
dear.
interesting summer sport? Go
Go
outside,
elsewhere.
play something yourself. It's alright. I mean, the mechanics of it are pretty tight. But, I mean, this is riding off the back of another game that, on another platform. And, cynical cash-in or half-decent volleyball game.
He's a man. I don't want a man in my volleyball game. What's going on?
absolutely.
Oh, you
not.
get men as well?
Is that for the ladies? or-
It claims new PC take on it after the outrage of BMX Triple X.
Yes, indeed. It's all right though. It's
Yeah, I mean the
that's what you
system's
say,
nice.
really.
The
It's all right.
the play system's good. You kind of got an arrow. The longer you hold down the button, the harder the shot will go in that direction. So and it's 3 taps and then over the or up to 3 taps and then over the
Yeah, and you
Other than
can
it.
get some really good rallies going.
yeah. And it's quite nice in 2-player.
I
But
can't see why you'd buy this instead of a football game. So when-
No, I mean
Right.
just the nature of the sport inherently. I mean, I'd rather see. Well, speaks very ill of me. I'd rather see women in bikinis than say trolls with magical powers or something. But
yeah.
well, that doesn't say much apart from the fact that I'm quite normal, I suppose. But yeah, I just don't really want to play this very much.
I was going to come up with a great joke about Bath's nightclubs, and I'm too slow.
Oh, a shame.
Never mind.
No, all I know is that this is the only thing I know about this game. Is pathetic, isn't it? In the development, they were going to have sweat physics.
Oh,
When they got hot, they
Yeah.
had to sweat, and I mean that was it.
would sand stick to
That
them?
was the big selling point, was it?
Well, that was undecided. Maybe they ran out of time to develop.
Pirelli calendar.
Perhaps they do sweat. I mean, I don't know.
I can't really tell from here, to be honest.
They're a bit too
No.
small to actually find out. Perhaps they get slightly shinier.
What does touched mean?
It means they touched the ball.
Is that true?
I thought it might have said two shade.
Ah, Johnny.
Oh.
Word.
This-
It's alright though, isn't it?
It doesn't look the business at all. And some other mags have decided to kick its face in and give it 3, but I don't think they've given it enough time.
That seems to be a highly fashionable attitude these days.
Yeah, this is for 10 quid. That's the bottom line. For 10 quid, don't get any of the other play at range. Get this game, and you'll get your money's worth. I finished it last night, funnily enough, and it's a good kind of Japanese, strange, quirky kind of tank, almost Armored Core style tank game.
I love the way you can curiously go around and talk to other tanks.
Yeah, no, it's a world full of tanks. There's naval battles. There's you get wings for your tank. You can have flying sections and things like that. And the boss battle at the end's like one of those absolutely outrageous 3-level things where you're just fighting right up till the end until your thumbs fall off.
I like the fact that you're constantly referring to the fact that you can't play it.
Well, I did.
No, well done. And I also like the fact that they haven't let themselves be constrained by what a tank can actually do in real life.
That's
as well.
brilliant. It's total
Absolutely.
fantasy. But I actually say it's
Change
fantasy.
paint. You don't get that in many £10 games. Let me tell you.
Mostly it's red.
Hey, look, I mean, all these armaments. This is Armored Core. Do you know what I mean? But for a kiddie tank
People with a
market.
tenner.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's not bad for pocket money price, is it?
Yeah, I mean,
so-
what else? You could throw it down your neck, but if you wanted a game, you could get this and get a couple of weekends play out of it.
Yeah.
I'd rather rent 3 good games.
Not even,
Better games.
not even
All right.
controversial, just probably true. But yeah, no.
No, I hate tanks.
No, not
I hate
big tanks, yeah.
Yeah.
They're not even real. There's
do you
nothing
hate
to really-
tanks?
Well, they're real, but they're not real things.
Don't hate tanks.
Smash Cars.
Smash Cars.
Good.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
The thing is, you can just hear the noise that's making, can't you? Just putting my teeth on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right though. This game, it's not brilliant, but you know,
It's just one of those games where
It's another game. If you were playing it, you just think, what happened in my life today that I've come home with this game? And why am I holding this game? Why am I playing it?
why didn't I buy something else?
Why did I buy Burnout? Or just something.
Yeah, I bought 40 bags of chips.
Is this cheap?
Cheap as chips, mate.
Yeah. Hey, aye.
oh, this is actually quite hard. All
Cheap
this
as chips.
Stunt mode. Stunt mode is basically
Oh,
drive up to a
6
ramp
wheels, though.
really fast,
spin it round.
and then yank the joypad in some direction and hope you don't land on your roof. And if you do more than one spin, it does a matrix effect that throws your timing off so that you land on your head. That's not a stunt. That's
I think you
the
know.
racing's alright.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
It's almost a halfway house between, you know, a kind of classic racer without power-ups and a karter. And the sad fact is, we still haven't got a good little karting title on PS2. Bombman Kart has vanished. You know, never to be seen again, probably. And I mean, if you want a kart title, then you know you might get some enjoyment out of this. But it's not. There's no power-ups. There's no. I mean, there's a certain level of kind of special tricks and things like that you can do, but I don't know. I want a good karter, and I want a good, you know, I want GT.
40 quid?
I like. You can run
40 of
dogs
your
in
English
it,
pounds.
I mean, that's.
Oh no, 40 quid. Forget everything we said. Don't even think about buying this. What a complete waste of money.
Oh,
Well.
Piglet.
It's second appearance on PS2.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, hello, trivia.
Uh,
What was
nice.
his first
What's his
appearance?
first
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh yeah.
you see, cameo.
You
You
spent
see?
40 hours playing that game, man. How do you not remember that?
Pass.
Well, now he's got a game all to himself. He's not just a side story. He's the
Right.
main man.
And what does he do?
He pulls
eats
faces
cookies.
at woozles.
He goes around kicking things and collecting cookies.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
This caramel is
That's a different DVD.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Whoops.
No, doesn't he? He goes around in all his friends' dreams,
Yeah, no, he's trying
putting
to
things right.
Yeah, he's trying to help people wake up because they're trapped in, you know, dreams that aren't exactly nightmares. So, you know, if I was in that dream, you know, I wouldn't be too bothered about waking up or not.
Oh.
To be honest, if my ass was stuck to a load of honey, there's worse things that have happened in my dreams, I'll say that. Sorry.
Yeah, it looks nice as well. I mean, we're seeing sort of cutscenes here, but the actual in-game, it's got that almost like school pantomime scenery effect with like flat
Yeah, no,
cell
it's
shading.
really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice.
Yeah, well, here we go. It's a little bit over here, and it just looks nice.
There's the paper world, isn't there? Where
Oh, I like this as well. This is where you pull faces, isn't it?
Come on.
scare the woozle.
Woozle him up. Oh, he doesn't like that.
Oh no, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna pop.
It's quite sweet.
Oh, brilliant.
I mean, you know.
I mean, that's what you do. If you've got a top security den, cover it with an enormous biscuit.
There you go, bees
Yeah. Oh.
and honey.
Yeah.
So voice just went. Speechless. Like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, bees like honey. That's the level of puzzle you get in this game, though. Bees like honey, and people. I was going to say need to be pulled off honey with sticks, but that really
Don't
makes
stick it
no
on your ass, boo. We know you're gonna.
sense. Oh, look at you making a big honey mess of yourself. Jesus.
Here's a
Have
bear
a
with
bit of
little brain.
self-restraint.
Yeah. Well, it's fine for the kids, isn't it? I might have said that twice already, but. Well,
Good game.
I've not played this, so
I think this rocks. This is so much better than Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
it
say
actually
it.
made me
Absolutely.
like weep with joy when I went on to playing this after Lara Croft shuffling about to the end of ledges, just watching Indy just jump gleefully about and whip things and smack guards and push them off things. It's glorious. It looks like ass though.
Yeah, it's kind of the Activision generic third-person action adventure engine. That's Django Fett with different moves and different skin on.
It's a
Minority
lot better than
Report.
Django
Yeah.
Fett.
The
Play
fighting in it is brilliant, though, isn't
The
it?
fighting's very good. I mean, it's not actually it's not very sort of challenging, but the way it's put together means you can sort of whack people with chairs and pistol whip people.
Yeah.
And it does feel like you're sort of roughhousing rather than, you know, kung fuing it up, which is very fashionable these days.
It's very hard not to get excited with the film score as well. Isn't it?
And this is a good example of just good puzzling. You're sort of given these skulls, and it goes, these bats react to noises, which is kind of patronising, but you still, you know, you still sort of work out what's going on. And then there's a bit in a minute with a giant crocodile, which probably isn't on here. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
but,
nice.
yeah, this bit's great. You know, it's good, sort of quite intuitive puzzling. This, lovely.
What's the most Indiana Jones bit in it?
Probably the bit in the German castle, purely because thumping Germans is what Indiana
It's
Jones
quite an
is all
Indiana
about.
Jones thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the shooty bit here.
No.
Just the whole running around and using his whip and stuff.
Yeah.
Swinging from ledge to ledge. It's all very indie.
My favourite thing that he does is the thing where he puts his hat back on when he comes out of the water,
Yeah.
and he
Oh,
holds
I
onto
like
his
that.
hat when he takes a long fall. That's just nice. And sometimes his hat gets. I'm
Look
all
at
about
this.
the hat, basically.
Whack! Have it.
Brilliant. It's like Temple of Doom.
Yeah. He's wearing it. Oh, brilliant.
Oh no, this is brilliant.
Doshkins. Yeah. You can hit
Big
people with an
stick.
oar. Can you do that, Lara?
Shock and
No, you're
awe.
too busy being moody
Yeah.
with your new attitude. Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this is technically good, isn't it? And resident retro obscuriato collector Milford, who normally draws our magazines with his hands, took time out to review this.
In
and
between buying obscure Lynx games
Yeah.
off eBay.
searching eBay for like SNK Neo Geo cartridges. He likes this, and I like it too.
I sat and played it with him. It's good fun.
Yeah, it's mental in real. The thing is that, you know, even though it's 2D, the amount of animations that each of the little characters
The
have got.
attention to detail is incredible. I mean, this bit here where you just get turned into zombies and then get up and start dragging your legs along behind you and stuff. It's fantastic.
It may not look it, but it is very, very detailed on the visual side of things.
It's a lot better than Contra as well, which is the last game that did this sort of thing.
Yeah.
No, I'd definitely rather play this than Contra.
But ultimately, again, it's a high price for a game you'll finish, you know, in a day.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is you can finish it in a few hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird games like this. I'm so glad that they're still getting released and that there's still that old school gameplay about. But the reality is, I wouldn't pay money for this anymore.
Yeah, no.
Which is a shame. But I mean, I'm glad that it's coming out and it's, you know, people complaining. Oh, I'm really surprised how good that was.
Yeah.
For me, it just reminds me of 10, 15 years ago.
It's going to appeal to people who remember the arcade games, and
Absolutely, yeah.
you know, it's got a certain appeal, but there's no way it's ever going to be mass market. But you know, for those that are into it, then it's great.
Yeah, 2D, eh? Discuss.
Uh,
No, I just think what I don't like is the attitude of people will say, yeah, this is like the purest form of gameplay because it's 2D. So it's like, oh, because the graphics aren't really all that. Hence the gameplay's really good. As opposed to why not make a really brilliant 3D game with equally tight gameplay?
that's what we should be heading for.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Another RPG and another large section of my life lost. It's
For what, I ask?
yeah, not for any great merit. I mean, I got into this. It's got a few nice touches. It's got the fact that you play 3 and then 6 central characters. Each you view the storyline from a different perspective. So it's always got kind of like warring factions between what, you know, kind of the impressions that people take away from events. So you know, one character will see his house burnt by somebody else. Then you'll play that person who actually burns the house, and you'll see that they've got a valid reason for doing it.
Oh.
So, you know, it's kind of a nice touch as far as plot goes there, but, you know, it suffers from that classic thing of just so much bloody text. You know, you just dialogue for days, and you're just thinking, you know, I kind of understand the plot, you know. I mean, you can summarise something in, you know, 5 minutes and still make it interesting. I mean, films do that all the time.
Yeah.
When you're spending, like, you know, a good 5 to 10 minutes just pressing X and kind of going blah 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 in your head just to get past it, then, you know, it just kind of saps the fun out of it. And we've got the whole thing about real-time battles now as well. So this is resolutely turn-based, and there's not that much about the battle system that's smart. It's got a kind of a battle mode where you can command troops, but it's a very, very basic strategic thing.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting time for RPGs because you sort of feel like they should be moving real time and doing things, but maybe there's nothing wrong with just being a good, solid old game that people can play through and get exactly what they want from it.
But again, I think my main argument about that is the fact that they take so bloody long to play. I mean, you're looking at another 40 hours game time, so you might as well spend that 40 hours playing Final Fantasy X, Dark Chronicle, and then if you're absolutely mad for RPGs, then maybe consider buying this.
That's a lot of time to play being an axe-wielding duck.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm Dandy.
And this is Johnny, and you're looking at Colin McRae.
Colin McRae, we went slightly mental for this, didn't we?
Rightly so. I think it's brilliant. I think the one thing that always makes me just so excited about this is the fact that, and it's a really small thing, and it's a bit stupid, but when you go from one surface to another, you can actually feel the way the wheels grip. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but when I've played this, and played it a fair bit, I just that one feeling, I don't know how they convey it. It's not through the rumble or anything like that, but you really do get the sensation of it.
Yeah, I like the kind of the fact that when the car moves, it pivots on the spot, and then when you go off the road a bit, you sort of sense that side of the car's losing a little bit. It starts sort of twitching, starts spinning in that direction as it loses traction.
Driving system they were trying to explain at E3, where it used to feel like there was like a rod stuck through the centre of the car.
Yeah.
And it would wobble about the rod. Apparently now it doesn't. It does something else. Whatever that is.
It is something else, but it works.
But it just sort of feels better.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't beat it. I mean, it looks beautiful here, the replay shots, and they're gorgeous. And
it's not far off GT4, is it?
No. And the feel of it is just outstanding.
Yeah, they've got real separate blades of grass that they made a big deal out of, which
can't say enough about that.
you can see, rather than it just being one big flat thing. Fantastic looking, fantastic playing, not at all disappointing at all. A lot more like Colin McRae 2, actually, in the fact that you can pick cars and you can pick tracks and you can sort of mix and match as you like. Colin McRae 3, they kind of lost it a bit and had you kind of working through a challenge kind of in order, being Colin. And now you can kind of you can mess about a lot more, lots of different terrains, lots of dirt tracks, desert, snow. It's got a lot.
God, there's no end of big love this month. Another 90%er.
Yeah.
And although it may not look, what you'd expect from a 90%er, this plays absolutely fantastically. I mean, just the whole section here where we're about to. Well, I don't know if the person who plays it actually does it, but you could command from a distance. So on this point, you can use your sniper rifle to take out people down below in the area. But all the while you're doing this, you're actually ordering your troops forward. And here they are, they're already taken over this bunker. And you've commanded them to go there. And all you do is you point at where you want them to go. And you say, I either want you to defend that, attack it, or come with me.
It's fantastic. I mean, I've been playing a lot of Conflict Desert Storm, and this system of where you aim the gun is where the bloke goes is just a lot more intuitive than even Conflict, and Conflict's pretty simple to pick up. The two games are very, very similar for me. You'd be hard pushed to choose between them, but if you want proper war with real soldiers and blokes with moustaches and beards hiding behind blown apart tanks, then go for Conflict. If you want a really good kind of actiony, slightly kind of sci-fi kind of made-up world, go for Freedom Fighters.
Yeah, I like this sort of vaguely comedy neo-apocalyptic feel of this.
Yeah.
And I like the fact when the game starts, you guys just what is he?
He's
fitter?
a plumber.
He's a plumber.
Yeah, here's your nod to another famous plumber.
Indeed.
Yes.
Game character plumber.
Yes, he's just like him.
In every way. But
I mean, it's really tongue-in-cheek as well. I mean, the fact that you have to raise the stars and stripes at the end of each mission is kind of, it's not taking itself too seriously.
we said it's by the guys that do Hitman.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean,
Which means, in environments like this, I mean, just the fact that all the lighting's, fully real time, so you can shoot out lights. It gets darker. You can,
It's what we call a very confident game engine, flinging an awful lot of stuff about.
And the brilliant thing is, as well, is that towards the end with the final missions, you get up to, I think it's 12 12 plus
12
men
blokes.
to command,
Yeah.
which is outrageous. You know, that's full on war.
Look at that. Beautiful. I remember when this first game came out. It's brilliant, mainly because it came with a demo of Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
Which kind of coloured the whole thing. Look at that though. Loads and loads and loads of things to kill. Very, very technically good.
Yeah, it's got some nice new mechanics. I mean, you can pick things up and throw them now, which doesn't sound like much, but here we go.
Oh, that is good.
It's nice.
Yeah.
You know.
Look at that, and they threw it actually at the other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's kind of
The thing I always found with Zoe, and it's the same with this one, is that you look really cool when you're playing it. Somebody watching going, Jesus, you are the man. But all you're doing is crazy flip of fingers on the joypad, and it's doing a lot of it for you. Look at that, brilliant. Look how
it's
cool
very
that is.
it's mech game. I mean, it's more shoot 'em up than mech game, put it that way. But there's some nice bits, but I mean, just not enough of them. There's a bit inside of this research station thing coming up on Mars where you have to escort another robot, and that's quite a nice mission. But most of the time, all it is beating the hell out of stuff or blowing it up.
Kind of wheeling around stuff. It's these quite simple battles which get to be a bit repetitive, look fantastic but quite repetitive, and then interspersed with some really evil big boss things that follow classic boss patterns of being completely invulnerable, then a certain little bit will open up and you've got to shoot that bit, and then when that bit drops off there's another bit to shoot. So it's very kind of old school really in its shoot 'em up appeal. And not a stompy mech game.
No.
Even though it's robots.
And no kind of upgrades or anything like that at all.
Yeah, it doesn't want to be like a traditional. Like, if robots had beards, that's what traditional mech games should be like. But I mean, what they did really well with the first game is they tried to make it emotional. So they had like
the ending of the first game was
Leo
really
Sternbuckle, his name was. It was quite a. I mean, it basically felt like they finished the game halfway through the first game. But
yeah.
I think the emotional element, in a weird way, Joel was saying this in the review, works better in Japanese because you transpose what you think they should be saying, and then when you actually see what they are saying, you go, it's actually a little bit rubbish. Really had to look twice at the screen then with that enormous.
Judge Dredd, yeah, great, fantastic. The first reasonably good Dredd game, but I don't know, it left me a bit cold really. I want it to be even better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's good, and it's Rebellion, so it's the people who make the comic, so everything's right, and all the little in jokes, like the fatties that just went over, or the fatty that just went over the side there, it's all in there and it's all right.
I wanted more. I wanted more genuine article, proper perps, like I remember from the comic. And less of these comedy zombie things. That's not 2000.
You get a certain amount of those, but I mean, on the other levels.
Look at that, he's very fat.
Very fat.
He's got his belly wheel and everything. So it's perfect.
That is good.
That's good.
And practical.
And the thing is there is areas where you do get to arrest people.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted the.
Here you go. I mean, this rise.
This is good.
You start arresting people, and then the thing is it going to be all right, or is it all going to kick off? And depending on, the kind of emotional state of each character you attempt to take down.
The streets just aren't quite as packed as I remember them in the comic.
It doesn't feel like a real city, does it? It's like everyone's gone to bed and there's a few blokes still hanging around.
Yeah.
Just for the reasons of getting shot or arrested.
that must be killed.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, it's a decent enough first-person shooter, and the atmosphere. If you're into the comic and stuff, and if you remember it well, then you're going to be pleased with it.
Yeah,
but
just hearing
not the best first-person shooter you can get.
No.
But I mean, I think at the moment, a bit better than Firewire. At least the weapons feel more effective. We've got the
slightly
different
better
guns you can
than
load in his
Mace
pistol.
Griffin as well.
Better than Mace Griffin.
Slightly.
Whoa, dude!
Whoa, dude! Seriously,
dude! Seriously,
seriously, dude! This isn't bad.
Dude, seriously, when I saw this, I just thought this is going to be the worst thing ever. And then you
He hasn't even got any wheels on his skateboard.
Dude.
Can I just draw attention to my caption last month? Riders of the Lost Bark. It's funny.
Okay.
You might have missed it.
Okay.
But anyway, the game. Yeah, okay. It's Tony Hawk's 4, but with Disney characters, as in it literally is Tony Hawk's 4. Edges have been chiselled off, tubey gripped. They've made it dead safe and nice. So when you play on the standard mode, there's no manual roll, as it traditionally is when you press up and down. Now you just press a button, and it does the wheelie. But there's also a mode, this is the good bit, there's a mode you can change it back to proper Tony Hawk's controls, so it's actually a little bit hard. and then you can do whatever you want wherever you want. These are the Extreme Crew, these kids, and they live in a place called Hollywood. Do you see?
Yeah,
Hollywood.
Yeah.
And so they live there. They've got big heads. They're cool. They hang out and skate, and I like that. Yeah, this is very good.
This is the state-of-the-art fighting game. Comes in, everybody loves it, everybody plays it for half an hour and goes, yeah, brilliant that. Not doing anything fantastic. I'm not sure what a fighting game would have to do these days to really kind of raise the benchmark that much higher. This is as good as you can get, really. If you want a fighting game, this is it.
Yeah, that's funny you should say that, because when I came on I said, I felt duty-bound to say, I love this, and I actually thought, no, actually, I don't give tuppence about it. Like, I probably wouldn't really play it, even though you've got to hold your hands up and say it's brilliant. And when someone draws you into a two-player game, you can't put it down. It's very balanced. It looks gorgeous.
There's quite a few lunchtime games of this going on at the moment.
Devil's Advocate, when it came out on the old Sega machine, Dreamcast, didn't look much different then.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think it's good, but I mean, I've actually spent more time with Mortal Kombat than I have with this.
I just keep thinking about E3 this year, all the new games next year, just 5,000 games on show, like 3 beat-em-ups, really. Just the arse end's falling out of the beat-em-up market, I think.
Well,
and this has got what market there is absolutely sold up, because it's just got the lot. And it's different to the likes of Tekken, just thanks to the Weapon Master mode and stuff, and the whole use of the weapons in the game. It's not just blokes hitting each other with fists and stuff. It's got a bit more to it. However, it's still a beat 'em up, so
yeah, it's kind of like being the world Sabutio champion nowadays. I mean, you know, it carries a lot of kudos in its own field, but increasingly losing relevance.
Yeah. I think you're gonna have to be a mad keen fighter to own. You know, you probably bought Virtua Fighter, you probably bought Tekken 4.
I still hold out for the day when someone does a proper, free roaming beat 'em up.
It's got to be destructive beat 'em ups is the way
proper
forward.
melee combat.
That is yet to happen.
Here's a pub. Pick up a glass, throw it, smash up the bar, use it as an impromptu shield. Yeah.
I mean, with all games, like, even with True Crime and stuff like that, the fighting's just not as good as this.
Yes, brilliant. This is proper brilliant. When you didn't think it was proper brilliant.
I didn't think it was proper brilliant because I don't like music spaceship games. I don't like flying through a virtual netherworld making crazy beats. I
The
don't
thing is,
do that kind of game.
I like the way it builds, but then what I find really disheartening about it is when it all falls apart. God, you feel rubbish.
Yeah.
It's not like there's no kind of you say when it falls apart, you sound bad, and everyone else does who's around you.
This as far as the music, I hate the music shoot 'em up game goes. This is definitely the best. You actually feel like you're making the music stuff.
Yeah.
Something like Rez, it sounds like you're rattling the cutlery drawer over some 80s techno.
When Res goes wrong, it really goes wrong.
Yeah, but even with the beats in Res, it didn't feel as though you're actually affecting the music in any way.
Yeah.
This you really feel like you're making it, and once you create a bar and it starts doing what you're doing, you move on to the next thing.
See, I was just trying to link it then, it's just like that. But obviously it sounds a bit better.
The little guy in the windows pisses me off.
Yeah, well, it's just to keep the screen busy, isn't it? But this is a game that to look at, you won't believe how much fun it is. You've got to pick it up, play it.
It is nails as well, though, we have to say that.
Yeah, it's hard, but that's hard.
That's hard.
I think it's hard.
It's hard, but no, fair play, Johnny. You're quite correct.
Oh.
Hardest rhythm action thing. A lot of the
No,
rhythm
it's not.
action things.
Jataru, man.
Yeah.
What on earth?
Well, I've got a feeling I know what this
Oh,
is.
good grief.
See?
Yeah. See what they've done there?
Oh.
They've made a bad game out of a average.
It looks like the
film
film
of
of the game,
remake.
I've got to say.
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
that's not bad. The graphics really are.
Yeah.
It's all gone
no.
wrong.
Oh well. It's
Yeah,
in
what
LA.
can you do?
Did anyone know that? It's in LA.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
I don't know. Cheaper than going to Milan again, I guess. Look at that. Mini's brilliant.
It just, I don't want to be cynical. No, I'm going to be
Oh,
cynical.
go on.
But in today's world, it just looks like a big advert for minis, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you just imagine it to be swathed.
Bosh.
The stunt mode's quite fun, but it's super tough, isn't it?
Yeah, there's an awful lot of, and you get this, it's like a leftover from like the Driver series where you get this, a little scanner with dots on it. It's basically go here,
and then when you get there, it's go there, and you're just driving around the whole game, going to little markings on your scanner. And it's kind of while you're playing it, saying, "This is brilliant, this isn't it? Look, you're driving a Mini, you're doing loads of stunts," and you're thinking, "No, I'm just following dots around."
So what really upsets me about it?
What's that?
Tinted windows on everything, including the police cars.
Yeah, you're not a fan.
No, I'm not a fan of that.
Wait, just what does that mean? That means nothing.
You'd never make it in the rap community, Johnny, with that attitude. I'll make that quite clear.
I'll get my hydraulics sorted out now, shall I?
Job.
And there's more.
Yeah, job done.
ATV2, best feature of which is the 4-player online play, which they took out, leaving ATV,
best feature.
basically.
God, I got a really bad case of deja vu. I mean, I feel as though we've sat here looking at exactly
I feel like
the same
I've been sat here for a year and something's happened.
Yeah.
And this is just on the screen.
Yeah, again.
Yeah, you've fallen asleep, opened your eyes. Is ATV still on? No, it's ATV. It's ATV2.
Come on,
2
sir.
years later.
Quad bikes.
It's all right. No, it is all right.
It is. It's really
I
alright.
feel like-
It's not alright. I've been playing freestyle Metal X, and that's a lot better.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more fun.
I mean, it's a bit harsh dissing it because it hasn't got the online mode, and dissing games for features that they don't have is a bit harsh. But yeah, it's not doing it. I think if it had the online thing, it could have been the first really good online racer, because Midnight Club doesn't really do it as an online racing game at all.
The thing is, I mean,
No, I
quad
thought it was
bikes
alright in
just
that
like, they're not that dangerous, are they? They've got 4 wheels, you know. They're quite stable. Rick Mail can roll one, but not
Yeah,
many other people do.
if you fall off one lands on you,
Yeah, maybe that'd be quite dangerous.
you'd
But I
be
mean, you know,
in trouble. But that doesn't happen in the game.
off-road dirt bikes, a lot more fun.
No. It just makes me think sort of like I've been in America. It just looks like all these games, these American games. they're just
American racy
people
things.
look at the size of the stadium. No, I mean I know it's America, but not even 7 billion Americans go to watch ATV quad racing.
First one was by Sony, released through Sony, and the second one Sony went, "Nah, you're all right, we won't bother." And THQ picked it up. So whether they picked it up on the cheap, I don't know, but it's all right. No.
Oh, I know what this is.
All will
I
become
I
clear,
started
stick
in
with
absolute
it.
mute silence, thinking, "What the dick is this?"
No.
This is that game you've been raving about for ages, Johnny.
X-Gra. Yeah, no, I've raving about it for ages. I like the screenshots when they first came out.
No.
It's
This is
Extreme G, but with weapons.
This isn't a racing game. This is a coloured shape at the middle of the screen and the bottom, and you're fitting it between 2 lines that kind of go off diagonally and meet in the middle distance. There's no corners as such. All of a sudden, one of the lines will just move closer to you.
Well, there are some pretty nasty corners, but the problem is that the speed your bikes go is that invariably you end up just clattering. Here you go, clattering off the side time and time again. You don't feel as though you can master it.
You're just
entirely.
watching the edges and trying to keep the shape in the middle away from
Yeah.
the edges.
Yeah.
You're not driving anything.
Like balancing a marble on a tea tray or
You
something.
might as well do that. You can play that wherever you go. Don't you?
Disco lights on.
on the bus, tray, marbles. Might as well just do that.
It wouldn't cost you 40 quid, I'll make that quite
Silly.
clear as well. Unless you got a very fine porcelain tray or something.
Yeah, but, it's what? I mean, Wipeout came out and that was
I know,
rubbish.
it's...
And then somebody comes out and goes, "Oh, let's have a go." at
Wipeout
that."
wasn't rubbish. It was
Wipeout was alright.
massively
Fusion was
important
alright,
game.
but
Rubbish.
Yeah, it's an important game in the history
what
of
Fusion? Are
PlayStation.
you talking about
Oh,
Fusion?
Fusion, PS2.
Oh,
One.
well, PS2 rubbish, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just
that's
talking
what
about
I'm talking
Wipeout, yeah.
about.
Yeah, oh, good grief, yeah.
I quite like Fusion, but
No, it's rubbish.
I've got no time for the.
Yeah, no, it's not hover things. It's you're on bikes. It's bikes with rockets. Yeah.
And nice backgrounds, and it moves fast.
Well, does it?
Yeah.
Well, that's, it's quicker than walking.
Unless you're really big.
I think I've got a whole problem with the whole hover-related racing genre. I think that's my problem. I'm gonna have to live with it.
Get you.
Now we are talking. This is it.
This is golf.
This is the big one. This is what we come here for. Golf. Golf on PS2. Fantastic. You can't get any better than this.
Is this
You can
year's-
get better games. All right, but
Is
if you
this year's any really better, though?
Yeah.
no, what they've done is
Last year's was brilliant. I loved
Yeah,
it.
it was brilliant.
with FIFA, they always try and change it and stuff, and they've had a few years where they've kind of just added bits to it and it got dissed. The golf's been getting better and better and better, but this is the first one where they've just upped the number of courses and players this year. If you want golf, this is unbeatable. I don't think anybody else is bothering doing golf. I think you can get a sort of novelty golf, can't you?
Well, yeah, I mean, but even Tiger's catering for that now with all the crazy characters it's got in there. So
it's just fantastic. They've got the mode, just the balance just right, where there's this daft comedy of wacky characters that break dance when they sink shots and stuff, and then it's got Tiger Woods and Colin Montgomery and people just sort of being real golfers. And as for the actual sort of the design of the course, it's all genuine holes, genuine courses, and they've gone absolutely mode mental as well. You can mix and match courses. I can't remember how many courses. It's something like 11 or 12 or something. You know, just sort of playing through the whole thing, playing every hole and every course.
Yeah, no, I remember that in the last one with the fact that you could take your favourite holes from each course and make your own course, couldn't you?
If you love golf, and the other thing is the swing, the analog swing system.
Yeah, it does work.
It's 3 button presses, thing of the past. The analog swing system is absolutely bang on. And when you do it, just like real golf, when you do it and you think, oh yeah, I've nailed it. That was fantastic.
And you get rewarded as well.
Yeah, and you get a little little graphic things. And when you do it wrong, you just go, no, what have I done? And sure enough, the ball goes sweeping off at the trees. Fantastic. It's golf. It's golf, so you might hate it, but if you want golf...
look at that. That's a shot, isn't it?
That's a shot and a half. If you want golf, this is absolutely superb. Yo.
This is actually quite good.
You know all about this.
This is good.
What?
Because it's got a world that grows. That's the main pull. A world that grows. Lovely world.
Good.
But it is a good pull because basically every time you complete an area, it unlocks another area, but the old area doesn't disappear. It's still there, and you can get to it via a tunnel. So slowly, bit by bit, the world grows and grows and grows, and you end up with this huge environment that you can just
better around in on a motorbike.
Yeah, which you don't have to do the missions if you don't want to. You talk to people to get the missions up and running. If you don't want to talk to them,
it's very subconsciously radical though.
But this looks brilliant. What's that bit?
Wind it back.
Anyone was called Mad Mike Jones.
Yeah.
Is he mad? Clearly.
Bikes on water.
Bikes. Floating magic bikes.
Water bikes.
It's good, this. It's really fun.
I'll tell you what, these rides...
This is where we differ, because I think this looks like RC Revenge.
These rides have gone wild.
I can almost go on record and say I don't think you've even barely played.
I did. I play all the first level and a bit of the second level.
I don't think you're very good
and
at
there was too much going on in the background.
Great physics. Too much going on in the background, I agree. It's a bit of a smoke screen. Like.
It is. And anything that has too much going on in the background, I immediately think the foreground can't be that good.
But it's really fun and playable. It's one of the best arcade races on PS2. No, seriously, come on, name me better ones.
I'd rather play a proper racing
And it's
game.
on water. Name me a better water-based arcade racer on PS2. I don't think you can. No, don't say Splashdown 1 was debatably better. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'll shut up.
I must admit, the physics is nice. When you're at the Sea-Doos, when you dunk them in the water and they bob up and stuff like that.
It's really nice.
It is very nice.
Look at that water.
It's pretty.
I thought the water had been made worse from Splashdown 1, but that's my PS2 accustomed brain, because the water is equally as good because we put two on sort of side by side. And yeah, it's fun, it's challenging. You know, they've got the right pitch between I'm never going to win. Oh, flipping heck, I've won.
The whole trick with this one is the balmy tracks that change and things blow up and pirates blow holes in walls.
Shameless rip-offs of like Jurassic Park and
look, ghosts.
But then again, I mean, it's not it's not done that seriously. There's a good tongue in cheek. We're not taking ourselves too seriously with it.
But we're not taking ourselves seriously
at all.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah. This is Madden.
Oh no.
Is it Madden?
Yeah, it is Madden.
This is where we say, we don't know much about this.
Yeah, it's
but it's brilliant.
A brilliant game. Brilliant game. If you like the sport, play this.
Anyway, if you like the sport and you don't
yeah.
Load of soft Americans playing football with tats on.
Whenever Jez played this for us, and whenever he opened up the actual kind of play menus, it is terrifying. It looks like the worst RPG you've ever encountered.
Yeah.
I mean, like there's just so many different plays. And you just sit there going, oh, and you know, if you're uninitiated, I mean, I could play a 2-player game, basically, but I can't. There's no way I'd even think about getting involved with one player on a strategic level now.
Now, and you can play it online against Americans who are really good at it. So if you want to get your ass totally pummeled, then the option's there for you. Madden series of games, very, very popular throughout the ages, and they just keep refining them, they just keep getting better, really.
It had absolutely colossal American review scores, this, like 10 out of 10s across the board. And it just, like, I get worried about slating it, because I always think, well, I wax lyrical about Pro Evolution Soccer. Maybe Americans look at that and go, oh my god, soccer's so boring, man, never score any points.
But if there was a volley, some sort of netball game or something, a netball game, we'd have a hard time judging that, It's great for American football if there's not enough to make you suddenly love a sport that's not as good as soccer.
Oh no, rugby on the other hand.
Actually, it's the first of two rugby games. We've got the league game coming up from the Australian City developers, and this is EA's rugby game, which got quite good. We quite enjoyed the first one. The scrum mechanics were nice. Kind of the Pomani elements and stuff like that.
In fact, I believe as you're listening to this, there's probably a Rugby World Cup on. Cue the game from EA, Masters of Worldwide Global Event Marketing. Here it is. Well, spookily enough.
It's worth pointing out this is by EA. Madden's by EA. A world of difference in the looks of it.
Yeah, and this actually runs a lot slower. I mean, this is the one thing one complaint we had from a lot of people who played it was that it's quite sedate. It's not a passing game when rucks and scrums.
Well, he's going quite fast there, isn't he?
The two don't share anything at all, and perhaps if the Madden team, instead of immediately starting work on the next one, should have come over and given the rugby blokes a few tips.
Just turn the Madden camera sideways, taking the helmets off.
Take the girly helmets off. Yeah, it looks a little bit. You can see for yourself. Not quite as polished as the American football, but it's rugby and it does what it says. It's all right. I could imagine it being a lot better. I'm looking forward to sort of next year's where they really start sort of polishing up the presentation. The lettering used, the fonts used, and everything. It's all a little bit homegrown, and the running animation's just a joke. Look at that, stupid.
It reminds me of like mid-90s EA games. With the little wobbly legs. But I mean, to be fair, you're not spoilt for choice for rugby on PS2, let alone any gaming system in the universe, short of an actual pitch. So this is not bad at all. And I suppose it's the sort of thing I may have bought in a post-World Cup moment of madness.
Fire Warrior.
A bit disappointed with this.
It's like a big white shiny elephant, because you look at it and think, yes. You just think, this looks...
Tom Baker.
It looks, it looks good. It looks so good.
It looks sweet,
and
but the
weapons just...
They don't sound right. That's my main problem. I know that sounds rubbish again, nitpicking details, but they all sound like pea shooters. And what I wanted from the Warhammer universe was stuff that would rip a tank's turret off with one shot.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do that. I mean, even the old school kind of ballistic weapons like the M16 there and stuff like that, they just don't feel right.
They just ultimately they all feel the same, and they're all crap. Which is bad. And another thing, the big twist. You don't play as Space Marines. Oh, that's clever. We haven't thought we would. So we play as big rubbish pin-headed aliens, completely puny with crap guns like paint guns.
For fans of the game, that'll be the chow.
Yeah, it's just a bit.
I mean, that's what it's trading on. It's trading on fans of the game wanting to get involved, in an FPS way, and I think it will succeed because basically, if you play any games with the miniatures, then all the models in here are dead accurate. It's the same as Judge Dredd,
Yeah, I think I'm just a bit upset because this could have been so much more. You look at the graphics; they are so good. The multiplayer is really solid. It's going to be online, and it's got all that going for it. It's got a really brilliant universe. Yeah, this isn't bad either. Again,
yes,
it looks flipping dreadful like this, doesn't it?
This distant, a bit better. This distant camera, the camera that plays the best game makes it look awful.
It's unplayable. Yeah, but this is literally. I'm gonna laying my stake on the line and say it's the best game ever.
It's so good, in fact, even I've started playing it, which it was unheard of.
And
before.
it's like matter of factual, you can say it, because it's the old cliche. Well, every lunch hour we play Pro Evolution Soccer.
No,
Yes,
true.
every lunch hour I do play Pro Evolution Soccer because I love it. And you'll never ever play the same game twice.
Oh, look at that. That's very good.
And this makes old PES look like it was running on rails.
Mm.
It's just so much more variety, bobbliness.
It just makes so much sense. I mean, you know, we've had quite a few football games through recently, and you know, I haven't got to the point where I can play a shooting game. I'm just playing a defence game at the moment, and from a defensive point of view, it always selects the right man, and that's what makes it. I mean, I've been playing other games where you think, why am I suddenly over on the wing? I don't want to be there. I want to be in the middle.
Yeah, it just feels right. The one thing that it's been lacking is kind of the likenesses and the commentary and stuff, and they're even sorting that now. In addition to making it play even better, and all the animations are so smooth, the way that it'll switch there from running to turning and this sort of stuff. You watch your FIFAs and stuff, they're still popping between animation routines.
Yeah, it's pretty seamless. And occasionally you get games where you just get someone will do something that you'll see once every 100 games. You go, I can't believe the game surprised me again. Even like 0-0 games are thrilling.
I was like one which bounced off the crossbar the other day, bounced off the line, and then it was allowed as a goal. And you know, everyone was waiting. We had to watch the replay like time and time again.
This is what I was going to say. Everyone's got little PES stories. People saying, "I was playing it last night. Roberto Carlos came down the wing." Yeah, you know, it's all.
Guess what he did?
It's fantastic. You know, you just don't really get that with any other football game.
Oh,
What on earth?
Yeah, what
Aliens, Colonial.
Oh, hello, Johnny. Hello.
You know what?
Tell us about this.
I should have recognised this because I took this on because I'm quite a fan of the movies, as is everybody. But I thought, go on then, give it a go. I don't mind Command and Conquer either. Let's just see what they've done.
Hey,
It's not even like
sold pretty well, isn't
It's not even like Command and Conquer. I mean, you know, all you've got. You've got ground units, and that's it. There's no base construction. There's a certain amount of resources, and it's all right.
It's like they've got the Aliens license, they've got the Predator license.
Yeah.
Go away, do us a game. Meet you back here in 6 months. Tell us what you've done.
Well, it went in straight at number 3.
They did this. It's just.
Well, it's not Colonial Marines, which we were hoping for.
What happened to that? I'd love to know. If some developer wants to write to us anonymously and say, I worked on that team, and yes, I confess, that game never existed. It was a series of screenshots.
No, I saw it running.
Yeah,
Shut up.
I saw it running at E3.
Of course we did, yeah.
I
stood
stood
good
there.
as well.
I played a little bit of it, and then I thought, great, how good is this? An alien squad-based game, you know, where you're the Marines, and then I end up playing this rubbish. Well, rubbish. Okay, RTS.
But when these screenshots came in, I honestly thought,
you're
having an absolute giraffe.
Doesn't lend itself to
way.
anything visually at all. But I mean, this is nice. The bit with the aliens, you've got a whole kind of hatching sequence that you have to go through to get your kind of warriors up and running. But I mean, you know, it really is RTS-like, and I think it went in at number 3 in the charts because of the license.
People
There's sod all else to buy.
People who saw the grabs on the back and went, it's EA. They must be joking. It must look better in game.
Yeah, why have they put these rubbish screenshots on the back?
Oh, I didn't say it's been a mistake. Oh my god!
This is the game.
40 quid.
EA have made their money, and I find that quite
it's genius,
quite
really.
cynical.
You know, they paid all the money for the license, ran out of cash, got somebody to bosh them up a cheeky RTS. No.